Okay. Welcome to tonight's license subcommittee meeting. My name is Councillor Mercy Ume, and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. If I lose connection and cannot reconnect, Councillor Florence Cheveder will take over for me. I would like to remind all participants of a few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your cameras turned on when you speak at the meeting. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If parties wish to add additional information other than their allocated time to speak, they must use raise hand function so that they are not missed. I also ask that members keep their questions and comments brief to the point. I now move to item 1 on our agenda. Item 1, apologies for absence.
None, Chair. Councillor Chabot-Verdier is just joining us now.
Okay, thank you. Declaration of interest. Do anybody have declaration of interest? None. Item 3, number 1 coffee restaurant, 3 Woodland, London, West 12, 7 DP. I would like to ask all, something to declare. Can I declare that this cafe is in my ward and I know where it is? So that's my declaration. I have to declare that. I would like every participant to introduce yourself as I call on you. We have with us Lichi. I don't. Is that okay?
Sorry, Lupcho Velkov.
Okay, lecture. The
Yes.
applicant. Applicant, can we see your face? Is it possible?
Yes, I put it on. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Then we have Adrian, the licensing team manager. We have Lona, the licensing officer. We have Emmanuel, the council legal officer. You all are here?
Present, Chair.
Present, thank you, Chair.
Present, Chair.
We have objectors. We have no objectors on this. So procedure. May I quickly explain the procedure the committee will follow?
Chair, can I just point out, we have objectives, but they're not represented at the meeting.
Okay. Yes, we do. Yes, thank you. So we have objectors, but they're not on this meeting. I think everyone got that information. We will hear from the following. The licensing officer will introduce the application and highlight the objectors. Finally, the applicant. Usually, each party will address the committee once for a maximum of 5 minutes. Following the presentation by all parties, the committee may ask questions to any other party or other person present at the hearing. No party has the right to ask questions to any other party at any time during hearing. Following the presentation and questioning, each party will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their case or presentation. The committee will then retire for deliberation. Upon its return, I will announce the committee's decision. Licensing officer, can I ask the licensing officer, Lona, to introduce the application?
Yes, Chair. On the 8th of March 2023, Number 1 Coffee and Restaurant Limited submitted an application for a new premises licence to be granted in respect of the premises known as Number 1 Coffee and Restaurant, 3 Wood Lane, London, W12 7DP. The applicant has applied for a new premises licence for the sale of alcohol both on and off the premises as detailed. The licensable activities are for the sale of alcohol both on and off the premises Monday to Sunday 10 AM till 11 PM. And the opening hours of the premises Monday to Sundays 7 till 23 PM. The applicant has proposed a number of steps to promote the 4 licensing objectives if the application is granted. And on the 23rd of March 2023, following correspondence received from the police, the applicant has agreed to add further conditions to the licence should it be granted. Further to this, on the 21st of April 2023, following correspondence received from the Noise and Nuisance team, the applicant has agreed to add further conditions to the licence if granted. All of these can be seen in the report. The licensing section during the consultation period received 4 representations from local residents objecting to the application. No representations were received from any of the responsible authority, and the application was advertised in alignment with the regulations. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Finally, can we hear from the applicant? And you have 5 minutes to present your case.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. We opened this like since last year, November, and the main idea of this, we just open now breakfast and lunch. And previously we had the idea maybe we open dinner, but now we only work 1 shift. So we change the time 7:30 until 3 p.m. we closing, So the idea is this, because we have already A3 license to do a hot food, to cook a hot meal. So the idea of this is maybe, over lunch, someone to have some, drink with a hot meal, like, some, pizza or something, a couple of beers. And mainly we want, this one, we're going to have like light beers, not like cider or anything strong, just maybe a couple of different wines and, just, normal percentage of beer, like, let's say Foster's or something, not like a stronger something, And also we apply for the off premises license, because mainly we use Deliveroo and Uber Eats. So they advise if you have a license, maybe you can put on the menu when someone is ordering something for lunch, they can order maybe 1 beer or something, because it's not make sense someone to come from outside to buy a beer which is cost triple than the local off license, And it's the Sainsbury, there are plenty, like a lot of off license shop you can buy cheaper to take it for home. So I don't think we're going to use much, but this is mainly for Deliveroo or something, if someone order, with this. So the point is, maybe no one is going to come at 10 o'clock to drink alcohol, It's mainly, I think, maybe after 12, because now kitchen is closed at 2 p.m. And, we're closing 3 o'clock. So mainly this one is maybe someone is coming, for a quick lunch, or maybe somebody is coming for meeting. They can have a couple of drinks with food, of course, And we're not going to sell like, we're not like a pub or bar, And there's no noise there. It's all the properties like closed, everything. We had like a little bit garden and that's closed. So there is no noise there and there is nothing there. So we play a little like amplifier music, which, it's very quiet, So there's no noise there, and there is no representation from any noise officer or police officer, And we had a visit from the fire department as well. They check is all made like, to the standards, and they have no objection as well, They have their report. We had a visit like a couple of months ago. So yeah, that's it. I don't have no more comments at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions from the committee? Can I ask the committee members to ask questions of any party about application and issues that have been raised at the meeting, at the hearing? As I said, it's my word. And
Yeah.
I understand you had a party from one of the things I read, and there was a noise.
Okay. Yeah. This one, what this was, we had our families. We done one for Christmas Day. There was no party. Actually, there was like, Christmas Day, we all gathered together. And there was not like selling alcohol. These people, they come, they bring alcohol from outside. So I think this is legal. You know, we don't have any alcohol there. You're free to come inspection, but you know, we don't have nothing there, not on the menu, not in the fridge, nowhere, you know. But you know, Christmas Day we done one because you know we all celebrating. You know, all the friends and family they come, so they bring from outside alcohol, and we had a little bit drink with you know, with dinner, you know. And there was maybe one birthday party again, you know, not like late, you know. We always do like on a Sunday, you know, like you know, lunchtime with food. They bring some, you know, own drinks from outside, you know. And this is, you know, breaking the rules or any law, you know. You can bring from outside, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You talked about delivery. How do you get your delivery? The main food. There are two deliveries I'm going to ask now. One is, how do you get your delivery? And then how will the Uber delivery be? Because knowing that we don't have anything around there that wants people to have deliverer to park their bikes on the side, because our council really made that place no cyclist, no Uber
No more.
delivery. Yeah, you know that. So
Yes. Yeah, normally, you know, they put this cycle lane in front of the shop, but they left little bit, you know, space for delivery for ourselves when we bring the like a food to, you know, to deliver. And also next door is opening restaurant now, so they left little bit space. There's a little bit space they can be parked, you know, after you start the cycle lane. So I think, you know, it's only, you know, because on the app when someone is booked deliver or something, we know exactly when is coming the driver, you know.
okay.
It's showing on the tablet, in the device, it's showing exactly how far away. And normally even we take it outside, you know, the bag with the food and drinks, you know.
Okay. Okay. In terms of how many staff do you have?
In the moment, like 3 or 4 altogether with part-time, you know, 4 people.
And are trained for licensing. I mean, and for drinks, they're trained to offer drinks.
Yes, actually, I'm working there myself part-time now. I'm like a managing as well, and I'm the DPS on the. I have a, you know, personal alcohol license, you know, and I can train them when I'm not there how to do it, you know, and I know all the rules and everything, you know.
Okay. Okay. Any question from other committee member? Okay. Councillor Shavade.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Velkov. I wanted to ask you a few questions. Sorry, giving you a second to have a drink there, but wanted to ask you if you could tell us what type of restaurant you've got and what type of customers are coming to your restaurant.
Thank you. Okay. We open like mainly English breakfast in the morning. We open like in the morning. The idea was, you know, to do like you know, lunch and dinner, but then at last moment we changed, like we do like breakfast starting at 7 o'clock, and we used to be closing at 6 o'clock, but now we cut down hours, you know, so because we only do one shift now, so it's 8 hours a day. And then you know, the idea is maybe one day we can put another shift and we can open for like, you know, for dinner, you know, but then we need another shift, and you know, we have to invest more into this, you know. We need another chef, another, you know, waitress and everything. And for breakfast we have a lot of different breakfasts, and for lunch we had like pizza and chicken and pork, and you know, but now we changed the menu because this chef is left. Now we have like different, you know, we doing Indian cuisine now for like chicken curry and lamb curry with rice and everything. So yeah, so breakfast and, you know, all the curries now. Thank you.
Thank you. That's super helpful. I did a quick company's house search, and I saw that you also this isn't your only place that you own and that you run. So you know, we want to think you're a responsible business owner, local person who's doing business in our borough. So I wanted to ask you, from the conditions I read, that we we as councillors, we get the correspondence between you and the council officers where you agree to the conditions. So I'm particularly interested in your view about the conditions that mean that people can only have basically alcohol with a meal they have on the site, or that they take away, which means, you know, people won't just be coming in to have a drink. I think is what you said also, that you're selling beer at a much higher price then. Did you have any thought on that? Or?
Yeah, what I think is mainly is going to be with the meal, you know, because I connect with the previous question, is mainly is coming a lot of tourists there from all the hotels, and you know, German and everywhere, Americans, some English, you know, some local, you know, starting to come as well, you know, but mainly it's coming, you know, a lot of tourists. So they ask sometimes, do you have a beer, you know, because they're coming like 12 o'clock. They're gonna have, you know, maybe breakfast with 1 or 2 beers or something, you know. It's mainly for this, you know. Yeah, so mainly it's gonna be with the food, you know, I think, because, you know, we're not pub, you know, it's like 20 meters away is the pub on the corner. People that want to watch football or something, they can go there, drink a pint, you know. And we don't have a space. We have a limited storage. We can't sell like a beer draft or something, you know. We can only have few bottles, maybe Budweiser or Foster's, you know, two, three, and maybe 2, 3 different wines, you know, and maybe 1 whiskey, and that's it, you know, because we not too much, you know, complicate menu and no storage, you know, where to cool all this, you know, and to keep storage. Thank you.
Chair, I've got a few more questions, like 2 or 3 more questions, but I don't. Does anyone else maybe want to come in? Or I can just go on. Yeah, go on. All right. This is a thank you, Mr. Velkov. This is a question to the officers. This time, on page 6, there is a mention on the 21st of April, 2023, of a correspondence received from Noise and Nuisance. Could I ask you whether this is in relation to something that has happened, or were the Noise and Nuisance team just being proactive? Thank you.
Are you referring to the conditions agreed by?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is because the Noise and Nuisance are a responsible authority. These are quite like generic conditions that they will tend to add to premises license. So this is them being proactive. There's been no enforcement action at the premises, or no enforcement action at the premises in the last 3 years, as states in the report. And the conditions that they've had are usually conditions they add to a lot of premises to mitigate any future noise.
That's great. Thank you, Lorna.
You're welcome.
Another question I wanted to ask is, in the stuff we got, the representations the residents made, and they're always very helpful. At page 70, now I appreciate we're in the licensing committee, not the planning committee, but there's an allegation that planning rules have been broken. You may not be able to answer me on the question of whether you know whether any planning rules have been broken, but do you know if any licensing rules have been broken as well? Either of those?
No, we haven't broken any licensing, you know, rules. The thing is, you know, there was some application we done, you know, and we had the same objection, you know, and I think the same people right at the back, you know, since the start we have a problem, you know, because they were complaining about the noise when we apply at first for the A3, you know, for the chimney and all, for the extractor. We had a lot of complaint to the council as well. They were thinking it's noise, but actually this motor, what we put, you can't hear nothing, you know. And then we had another application, you know, even they complained for the sign outside. We put like a LED sign, and they had a complaint, which is, you know, is looking much better now. And, you know, and they still complain. I don't know why is this, you know, all the representation. And we had one, the garden, they complain a lot for the garden. We had one open space there at the back, which is next to the kitchen. And this garden, you know, it was partly closed, semi-closed, covered, and then we covered all. And, you know, in meantime, we applied straight away, you know, for the application we submitted. And for this one, we had a lot of objection as well, you know, and this one we closed it because, you know, for the noise, you know, so all these people living at the back, and said so they don't hear nothing, and also, because this place was next to the kitchen, if we didn't close this one, we can't work, because will be coming animals inside and rats and everything. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And Lorna or Adrian, did you have any further comments?
I can't obviously comment if any planning legislation has been broken. However, the planning are a responsible authority and they are being very proactive to inform us if there is any details that the applicant needs to know. And in this instance, the planning didn't come back with any comments to do with the planning permission of the premises, which, if I'm using, I would suggest that it is in alignment with what it is. And like I said earlier on, there is not, we've had no enforcement action against this premises. So, well, any recorded enforcement action against the premises for any licensable activity.
That's great. Thank you very much. That's it for me, Chair.
Okay. I think I haven't got any more questions at the moment, and I'd any other comments from committee member? No, you don't have any. Okay. All right then. I think you have covered most of the questions. You have the waste. You talked about the waste and you talked about the noise from your equipment, which you've been cleared. I think another committee member has already asked those questions. So I don't think I really have any questions for you. And in that case, can we have a sum up, please? Can we have the licensing officer to sum up?
Nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
And can I have the applicant to sum up? You have 3 minutes to sum up. Tell us exactly why we should grant you a license. 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because this one is like in this area, a lot of restaurants, and they all have alcohol license. Is opposite is Westfield, where is a lot of restaurant, and they all have alcohol license. And I don't see that there is going to be more criminal if we have another license premises. Because it's only a small place. Like I said, maybe about 40 people there sitting. And mainly it's coming like tourists from everywhere, because a lot of hotels very nearby, Dorset and the other ones, Dorchester and the new one there. So a lot of tourists coming there with the family and kids. And if they come and they have some drinks, they with the kids, they're not going to do any trouble or anything, I think, because people, they want to drink. I think mainly they're going to go in the pubs and bars, and we're closing very early at this point, and I don't think it's going to be any noise or any problems. No problem. Thank you. That's all for me. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then the committee now will have to retire and take a decision in a separate room. An adjournment style will be displayed during deliberation. You are welcome to remain in the meeting to hear committee's decision. However, this might take some time. If you don't want to wait, a summary decision will be published on council website tomorrow morning. Can I ask committee members to turn off their video and mute their microphone and join me in a meeting of deliberation? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Hello, Charles. Hello, Charles.
Yeah, good evening, Chair. Yes, everyone's back.
Everyone is back. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Number 1, Cafe Restaurant, 3 Woodland, London West 12, 7DP. The premises. The committee has considered an application for new premises license for the sale of alcohol, both on and off the premises under the Licensing Act 2003. The application, in summary, the committee has decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of this case and promotion of 4 licensing objectives to 1, to grant the application. 2, the license is subject to conditions imposed by police condition agreed by the applicant. This license becomes operational with immediate effect. If problems are experienced, then an application for a review of the premises license can be made. A copy of this committee's full decision, including its reason and full text of the condition added to the license, will be sent to parties forthwith. If the applicant is unhappy with the decision, they are entitled to appeal to the magistrate court within 21 days from the date of notification of the full decision. And I would like to say thank you to committee and thank you for everyone watching. Now we move to the next application this evening.
Chair,
Yes.
we can't legally start the second item until 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So what we can do is I suggest that everyone mutes their microphones and turns their cameras off, and all I can do is put an adjournment tile up and ask everyone to rejoin this meeting at 10 to 8.
Okay, 10 to 8. Okay. Thank you, Charles. 10 to 8 it is. Okay, see you everyone. Bye-bye. Hi, Charles. Charles.
Yes, Chair, good evening. Yep, I'm going to
Good
say
evening.
just a reminder for everyone that the live stream is actually on, otherwise the meeting terminates. So just be mindful of that at the moment.
Okay. All right. Let me know when you want. I think we can start now, or what do
No,
you
we
want?
can't. We can't start until 8 o'clock, Chair, and I've got to admit all the other guests and things for the second item.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. Keep us posted. Okay. I have to.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. You're
You hear
you're 9 minutes early at the moment, so I'm just muting everyone at the moment.
I just wanted to double check that I knew how to turn our IT on properly. So I'm happy if you want to mute me.
Sorry, Mr. Warren, just to confirm that you have Mr. Talbot with you and also Mr. Rewicki.
Sorry, yes, that's correct. So Tom's on my right and Dominic's on my left.
Thank you. I'm just, as I say, just confirming everyone's nearly joined the meeting.
Thank you.
Chair, just to provide you with an update, everyone that should be here is now in the meeting, but as I say, we can't legally start until 8 o'clock, so it's another 4 minutes.
Thank you, Charles, for updating. Okay.
Yeah, it's just gone at 8 o'clock. You can start the second item, Belushi's.
Thank you very much. Welcome to tonight's License Subcommittee meeting. My name is Councillor Mercy Ume, and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. If I lose connection and cannot reconnect, Councillor Florence Chevede will take over for me. I would like to remind all participants of a few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your camera turned on when you speak at the hearing. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If parties wish to add additional information other than the allocated time to speak, they must use raise hand function so that they are not missed. I also ask that members keep their questions and comments to the point. Now I move to item 1 on our agenda. Item 1, apologies for absence. None received. Item 2, declaration of interests. None. Item 4, blue sheet 13 to 15 Shepherd's Bush Green, London, West 12, 8PH. I would like to ask everyone participating to introduce yourself as I call on you. We should have with us Tom, the applicant.
Hi, my name is Tom Talbot, and I'm the UK Operations Manager for Beds and Bars, of which Belushi's Shepherd's Bush is part of.
Thank you. We have Piers, applicant solicitor.
Good evening, Chair. Yes, I'm here.
And we have Dominic, the general manager.
Good evening. Yes, I'm Dominic Wieluski, and I'm the new general manager in Belushi Shepherd's Bush.
Okay, thank you. We have Adrian, licensing team manager.
Present. Thank you, Chair.
We have Lorna, licensing officer.
Present, Chair.
Thank you. We have Emmanuel, council legal officer.
Present, Chair.
Okay. Now we have objectors. We have Catherine McLean's resident, but she no longer attending, so she has Arabelle to represent.
I received, sorry, Chair, I received an email from Catherine earlier saying that Arabella wasn't able to attend anymore, so she'd like to pass her 5 minutes to James Neal, who is the other resident that's on this call.
Okay, okay, thank you very much, Lorna.
You're welcome.
We have James, a resident. Okay,
Hi.
Thank you, James. And James, I understand that you'll be speaking for on behalf of Catherine. Okay? Yes, okay. Now, procedure. Before we consider the application today, I can confirm that in addition to the main agenda, a supplementary agenda was published on 16th of June, 2023. May I quickly explain the procedure the committee will follow? We have from the following: the licensing officer will introduce the application, the objectors who have registered to speak, finally, the applicant. Usually, each party will address the committee once for a maximum of 5 minutes. Following the presentation by all parties, the committee may ask questions to any of the party other than the person present at the hearing. No other party has the right to ask questions to any other party at any time during the hearing. Following the presentation and questioning, each party will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their cases or presentation. The committee will then retire for deliberation. Upon its return, I will announce the committee's decision. The licensing officer, can I ask the licensing officer, Lorna, to introduce the application?
Yes, Chair. On the 24th of April 2023, Piers Warren of TLT Solicitors submitted an application on behalf of Interpub Limited to vary the premises licence in respect of the premises known as Belushi's 13 to 15 Shepherd's Bush Green, London, W12 8PH. This premises currently benefits from a premises licence which permits the following licensable activities: the regulated entertainment, including the performance of dance, the performance of live music, indoors and outdoors only, the provision of late night refreshment indoors only from 11 p.m. to 11:30, Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday to Saturday, 11 p.m. until 12:30 p.m. The premises also has the sale of alcohol on and off the premises Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. and Saturday 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. and Sunday 12 until 10:30. The application that has been submitted and is being considered today has applied for a variation to the premises licence to change some of the licensable hours and amend some conditions to the licence. The amended licensable hours are as follows: the sale of alcohol on and off the premises, Sunday to Thursday from 10 a.m. until midnight, Friday and Saturday till 10 a.m. until 1 a.m. The current permitted hours have already been mentioned. Is to amend the performance of dance, recorded music, and anything of similar description to dance from Sunday to Thursday from 10 a.m. until midnight, a Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 1 a.m. Live music from Sunday to Thursday, 10 a.m. till midnight, and Friday and live music on Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. until 1 a.m. Late night refreshment to be indoors only, Sunday to Thursday from 2300 hours until 12:30 a.m. and Friday and Saturday from 2300 hours till 1 a.m. They also would like to amend the condition 16 to read, no customer shall be admitted or readmitted to the premises after midnight. The condition 16 is currently worded as, no customers shall be admitted or readmitted to the premises after 11 p.m. There is further conditions that the applicant wishes to add to the premises licence, which are all detailed on pages 74 and 75 of the report. It is proposed that all other activities and timings will remain the same on the current licence, which can be seen within the report. During the consultation period, the licensing section received 6 representations from local residents objecting to the licence application. No responsible authorities submitted any objections to this application, and the application was advertised in alignment with the regulations of the legislation. A further supplementary agenda was submitted by the applicant, which was published on the 16th of June, and all parties have been informed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Then can we hear from the objectors? Then I have to ask James, I'm going to allow you 10 minutes because you are speaking on behalf of Catherine. So you are allowed 10 minutes to present your case. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I don't think I'll need 10 minutes, but thank you anyway. Kaz, I know, has sent her apologies that she can't make it. And obviously we are local residents. Obviously, the issues that we are raising as a community are more for the cumulative impact of these additional late night venues and licenses that are operating in the area. Firstly, I want to raise a question of why the council have not been more proactive here already, because our local ward councillor, Councillor Mercy, and others are already acutely aware of the issues that we're having in the community. You'll already know that we had a closure order just before Christmas. We've had a big council walk around the area a few weeks ago. There's a significant parking issue and traffic issue that's ongoing, as well as ongoing antisocial behaviour and litter. Now, all of those are part of late night venues, but it's a cumulative effect that we are concerned about. As you'll be aware, that the statement license policy, bear with me a moment. That the statement of licensing policy has a variety of different clauses and policies that any additional licenses should be considered. Obviously, venues that are opening late add to significant stress of the local community. So we've got parking stress through people using the neighbourhood streets for parking, people using the neighbourhood streets for taxis, collection and drop off. We have people that pop into the streets around the back of the station for urination, to eat their fast food or to drink their takeaway alcoholic drinks before they get on the tube or go into venues. The significant amount of antisocial behaviour that's happening in Caxton Village and around the Richmond Way area at the back of West 12 has considerably got worse over the last few years. And as you'll be aware, because we've already had a licensing committee this evening, there are significant and even more night licenses and venues being sought. So the key question is that and as a community, we want to support local businesses. We're not just anti-business, but we have our residential amenity that we need to be careful of. We need to make sure that we're able to operate safely and sleep and not have to walk through urination and piles of late night litter from fast food venues. So what we are concerned about is that why there is not an area-specific cumulative impact policy in place that is restricting and monitoring all of these late night licenses that are opening, and why, more importantly, are these late night venues such as Belushi's and others not being more proactive with the local residents association, Caxton Village TRA as an example, or Shepherd's Bush Green, friends of, to try and work with us as communities to mitigate and reduce the impact on the residential amenity. So I am obviously concerned that our councillors and our local borough haven't made more of an impact already in objecting to this, because these are issues that you are very fully aware of. I have nothing else to say.
Thank you, James. And now can we have the applicants to speak? I will allow you 10 minutes, and within that 10 minutes, I don't know whether you want Tom to speak or you want Piers or Dominic. Which one of you will be speaking?
Chair, as usually the case when you see my face on one of these screens, it will be me that does most of the talking on behalf of my client.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Okay, then. Piers. Okay. Piers, sorry. You have 10 minutes. Okay.
Thank you very much. And obviously, Tom was making notes in relation to what James had to say, and residents associations, etc. And I'm sure that's something that we can look into outside of this meeting. But obviously, we need to consider this application in terms of the law, the guidance, and your own policy. Hopefully, I won't take the full 10 minutes. I'll try and follow James and be very succinct. You've referenced the supplemental agenda, so we've already provided a short skeleton argument. Tom provided a short statement and a map that hopefully will assist in terms of geography of the premises in relation to the residents who have made representations. And I'm sure all of you have given that due consideration in advance. So I won't go through those documents in particular, but I'm just going to draw a few points from all of this. This is an application to extend hours, as you've heard, from the current premises license as set out by Lorna, so there's no need for me to repeat all of that. It's worth repeating that there's one condition we're amending, which is the last entry time currently sitting at 11 o'clock to midnight. That's midnight across the board. And then we're also proposing that new conditions are added to the premises license. Those you'll find in the pack as well, pages 74 and 75. Very quickly, there's some additional football conditions that have been agreed with the police. An SIA door supervisor condition requiring door supervisors a weekend, and other conditions one would expect on a modern license, challenge 25, that kind of thing. That supplements the conditions already on the premises license, which you'll find at page 88 of your pack. There's 18 conditions there, so there is quite a robust operating schedule at this premises already. I think there's 3 or 4 points of real significance to draw from the report and from the application. The first is that no representations have been received from responsible authorities, and your policy, which is referenced at page 78, policy 3.e, references that particular regard will be given to applications where no representations have been received by responsible authorities. And that, as you're fully aware, Chair, and your councillors will be aware, fits with the guidance at paragraph 2.1 and 9.12, which I won't repeat the whole of it again, but essentially they say the police and the authorities are experts in their own fields, and therefore you need to give particular weight to any comments they make, and when they don't make comments, likewise. Now, the reason why there are no representations from the officers here is not simply that everyone forgot about it, but there was significant pre-app consultation that led to the conditions you've seen in advance, and there is support from officers to this application. Indeed, this is a significant change from a number of years ago now. We're talking 5-6 years ago now, when an application was previously made. Different policy, different times, and officers objecting. So that will give you a measure of how much the premises has, if you like, come on and is considered very well managed now. Tom's statement refers in detail to some of the consultation and the dialogue there, so I won't refer to all that. Paragraph 4.1 of your report pack at page 76 states no enforcement history record for 3 years. So again, that ties with the responsible authorities not making representations and should give you confidence in the management of the operation. And I think most importantly, we need to reflect on some changes in policy over the past few years since COVID. And they have quite a significant and profound effect on how the council perceives applications of this sort. The hours we're going for are not the full hours that one finds in your hours policy for town centre premises. In fact, Fridays and Saturdays, Mondays to Saturdays, they're shorter than those hours. They're considerably under, in fact. Another factor I think that's important here is obviously changes to cumulative impact, and indeed, actually, sort of listening to what James had to say, and the fact that there is a frustration about cumulative impact. This is probably the most important point to raise. There was a policy at one point that covered cumulative impact in this area that was well known to the council and robustly enforced, it has to be said. That policy is no longer there, so there's no longer the presumption of a refusal. It is for anyone who makes representations to demonstrate and evidence how this premises would undermine the licensing objectives for those residents as part of a cumulative impact. Now, none of the representations, I think it's fair to say, actually have any reference to the premises at all beyond it being a premises in the area. They don't evidence crime and disorder from the premises or noise nuisance affecting them directly. So there's no direct effect to these residents. We are only talking about cumulative impact. And indeed, one of the points that was made about people's behaviour away from premises, and as you know from the guidance paragraph 2.21, people need to take responsibility for their actions immediately away from premises. So in this case, talking about people undertaking activities behind the bus station, etc. One would find it very difficult to actually levy that against this premises or any others. It is a matter for personal responsibility. We certainly don't condone that behaviour, and were there any evidence of customers of ours doing that kind of thing, they would get very, very short shrift, it has to be said. The locations of the residents here, as you'll have seen from our bundle, are quite distant from this premises geographically, but also in terms of the infrastructure, roads, the green, etc. It's worth pointing out that there would be no reason why our clientele would head to that area where these residents who have made representations are, given that, in fact, all the major transport hubs are before they would get to that area. We've gone into that in a bit of detail in the skeleton, but it's just worth having that in your mind as well, that that is a mitigating factor in this application. And most importantly, I think it's worth very quickly touching on the opening paragraphs of your statement of licensing policy. So the forward from Cowan, leader of the council, when the policy was written, that says in paragraph 3, we believe that a diverse, vibrant and safe nighttime economy has a key role to play in supporting this growth, and that's the growth of the area. That's why we've created a new modern business-friendly licensing policy. So we're talking about promoting good businesses being able to do things that will help those businesses grow in what are very difficult times, we all know. And then the penultimate paragraph says, we support the revival of nightlife with more well-managed late licenses in non-residential areas. We want to make Hammersmith and Fulham an even more attractive place to live, work and visit. Now, those are very key passages here. That's probably why there has been this change, and certainly discussions with officers is a very proactive approach towards how can we get you to where you need to be to thrive as a business within the area. Add that to the fact that it is a very well-run premises. It has the backing of the responsible authorities, and there are no evidential issues here from residents about this particular premises. I submit that this application can be granted as submitted before you. And I'd invite you to ask any questions you or your colleagues may have at that stage. I think I'm under 10 minutes.
Thank you. Well done, Bete. Okay, can I ask each committee member to ask question on any party about application issues that has been raised or had at this hearing? Please, committee member, do you have any questions? Okay, Councillor Alfonso.
Good evening. Just one quick question on the timings you guys are asking for. 1 a.m. is a bit of a peculiar one. Obviously, reading the report pack, that would be a lower finishing time than the Weatherspoons in the shopping centre. Why did you guys pick 1 a.m. and not a later 2 a.m.?
I think there's a couple of good reasons for that. One is that there is good opportunity, if you like, to see how things work, demonstrate how things work. Jumping straight from 1 to 2 doesn't necessarily give the best opportunity to demonstrate how matters work. And that was agreed in consultation with Tom and the officers to take that approach. So we've gone with them. You know, don't run before you can walk. It's not to say we may not come back, but let's see how this works. And good luck to Weatherspoons with their later hours.
That's all from me, Chair.
Okay. Any question from a committee member? Any more questions? Okay, Councillor Florin.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you for the contributions that, well, anyway, I wanted to ask officers a question about page 76. Just wondering whether there's a typo, just to be sure I understand what's being stated there. So is it one resident submitting 6 times a representation, or is it 6 residents submitting? Because there's just it says 6 representations from a local residents objecting.
Yeah, sorry, that's a typo. That should say 6 residents from 6 representation from 6 local residents. Sorry.
Sounds good. And you're able to confirm or deny whether those people live near. So for context, I think we're trying to make sure that people aren't identifiable in this committee, so we don't want to say anything that identifies them. But it's been said that residents who have complained live north of the Shepherd's Bush Green, or south, or east, or west. So did we get confirmation from officers?
I'll have to look into that and I'll come back to you with an answer. I just need to check the addresses.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sorry, Councillor, I was just going to assist there, if I may, if you're happy for me to.
Yep.
When we get given the representations, we don't get direct addresses, but we get an approximation, i.e. maybe a road or something like that, which allows us to ascertain where they are. So the map we provided in the supplemental pack, as best as we can understand it, shows the 6 locations, and they're all to the north and west of where our premises is.
Can I ask that we cannot reveal the addresses of these people? Please?
No, that's as far as we've gone, is just identifying roads, no more than that.
Okay.
Can I just raise an objection?
You are not allowed to speak. Sorry, you have to wait till we ask you, unless you want to ask him.
Yes, James.
Florin.
Yep. Go on.
Just say, I do think the map that you published with dots on the map on those specific properties of objections was a little bit too much. Okay. A bit too invasive of the local representations.
I can assure you it doesn't show any.
Can I stop both of you here? As I said, no one has the right to ask questions to any other person. Please, can the committee members ask these questions? And please, can people respond, not objectors and not so I'm sorry, we can't go on like this. So Councillor Florin, have you got questions to ask?
Thank you, Chair. So whilst Lorna comes back to me, there was a representation I talked about Belushi being more akin to a nightclub, but considering there's licensing for sort of dancing and performances, etc., is it actually, maybe Adrian, that's one for you, is it sort of in classification, is Belushi's considered a nightclub?
I think it's, yeah, I mean, I last visited the premises probably about a year ago, but if it's still the same operation, I would say it's almost a hybrid between the both, a nightclub, stroke bar, stroke pub. from my last visit anyway.
Okay, maybe another one for you, Adrian. There was a representation on page 127 that talked about an already adequate alcohol licenses, a number of adequate alcohol licenses around the green, and that there should be an area cap on the number of alcohol licenses. I know we've heard representations that also, say do this, do that. Can we put caps on the number of alcohol licenses in a given area?
No, I mean, I think they may be, thinking of a cumulative impact policy. And as Mr. Warren said, there used to be a cumulative impact policy in the area. And whilst it's not a complete cap, it's a policy presumption against any new licenses. There is no cumulative impact area now in Shepherd's Bush or in any areas of the borough, but cumulative impact as an idea and as a principle can still be considered. And it mentions that in our policy. So if, representations mention that there's too many licensed premises in a certain area and it's causing antisocial behaviour or it's causing other issues, then that general principle can be taken into account.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Please, can I say something that anybody can object from anywhere? Please, so let's bear that in mind. You don't have to live within the distance to object. You can still live in Fulham and object to this. So that's what objection. That's what the license policy. Adrian, could you help me on this? Is it?
No, that's quite correct, Chair. Yeah, that's anybody can make a representation from anywhere around the country, and that's just the legislation as it is. It's not necessarily our licensing policy that dictates that, but people can make those representations, and if they meet one or more of the 4 licensing objectives, then that's something that we have to consider and we have to put in front of you for you to make a decision on those representations.
Thank you very much. Lorna, I think I saw your hand up one time. Do you want to speak?
Yeah, I was just going to answer the question about what Councillor Florian said. Yes, they're all north of the borough.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Could you say that again, please?
I said they're all in the north of the borough.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Not for me. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. I don't have any questions because one, the police. I read the whole thing, and the police didn't make any recommendation on. They made a few recommendations on what they're asking. So, I have no question. I know that, like James said, that isn't my borough. My ward has had so many issues, but that is not to deal with this thing. What we have in front of us. Because we are following the guidelines, not only from Hammersmith Council, it was government guidelines that we are following, that they want more late nights. So not only from Hammersmith Council, I think it's borough-wide. Adrian, is it borough-wide or is it just from us?
Well, the council's policy at the moment is certainly very business friendly, and it does encourage late night venues where they're not interfering with residents. It does say that as well, and where it's not causing problems with antisocial behaviour and noise and that type of thing. But I think within London as well, definitely the Mayor of London has said that council should think about the nighttime economy and try to encourage well-run businesses later in the evening as well. So yeah, it's a London-wide thing as well.
Thank you. So, since we have no more questions, and can we have the parties to sum up as briefly as possible? Okay. The licensing officer, can you sum up, please?
Nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay. Can I ask the resident, which is James, to sum up? It's going to be 3 minutes, but because you are summing up for Catherine, I'm going to allow you 6 minutes to sum up.
Okay, well, hopefully I won't need 6. I think it needs to be highlighted that it doesn't matter where people are living in relation to Belushi's. the impact of having people attend late night venues affects the whole of the neighbourhood. The points that you put in the supplementary agenda about people don't go past the tube station into the area are absolutely untrue. And I think if you actually spent any time in the evening observing and looking at people's behaviour, you would see that many people arrive in cars. Caxton Village is the easiest place to park. They park there for fast food. They go to the urinate behind the walls on Shepherd's Bush Place before they get the tube, etc., etc. So, you know, your comments there are obviously, it's not just Belushi's, I get that, but the cumulative impact on residential amenity is significant. And having a midnight entrance and a later license is going to have more of an impact. So in summary, it is the residential impact and the stress on the surrounding streets that we are concerned about, that it is going to be ongoing and getting worse. I am sure that well-run and respected businesses that don't have issues on the doorsteps would be more than happy to engage with community and councils to ensure that we do something to support the local communities in not having to suffer antisocial behaviour with people coming and going. And I am disappointed that the council are not taking more of an action. We know that this is a significant problem, not just north of Shepherd's Bush Green, but through Shepherd's Bush Green and south of as well.
Okay, thank you, James. Can I have the applicant solicitor to sum up? We have 6 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and I won't take those. This is a very well-run business, and I think there is nothing to dispute that. And I'm not disagreeing with James that there may be people who undertake antisocial activities in the borough and specific places in it, but that, with respect to this application, for the reasons I'm just about to explain, is not enough, if you like, to suggest that this premises should not be able to operate with the extended hours. It's worth bearing in mind, and you've got the map in your plan anyway, that there are nearer residents who have not objected to this application, which in and of itself will give you an idea of how well the premises is operated. There is a general right of residents to bring up cumulative impact, as Adrian has rightly said. But what changes without a cumulative impact policy is that the burden is still on the residents to evidence how that cumulative impact is directly associated with this premises having an issue, whereas where there's a cumulative impact policy, there is effectively a presumption not to grant the application. That presumption does not exist. The presumption here is towards grant. So that's where geography does matter. And of course, anyone can make representations, but they always have to evidence the matters that they raise in their representations. And that's very clear in policy and guidance. Where the police, environmental protection and licensing are happy with an application and have not made representations, and indeed pre-app consultation was extensive with them beforehand and conditions agreed, I submit that that is to be given considerable weight in making determinations in matters such as this. We are happy and content that this application can be granted. We've gone for the modest application we have to demonstrate how things will work. We are absolutely convinced that they will do, and there's no evidence before you to suggest otherwise. So I'm going to submit that you can grant this application as submitted, with the additional hours and with the additional conditions as is set out in your pack. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the committee will now retire and take decision in a separate room. An adjournment towel will be displayed during the deliberation. You are welcome to remain in the meeting to hear committee's decision. However, this might take some time. If you don't want to wait, a summary decision will be published on council's website tomorrow morning. Can I ask members to turn off their video, mute their microphone, and then take to the private deliberation into Teams? Thank you.
hopefully not saying get him off.
Time spot 8 till 9 on TV. Vicky's
Found myself.
Hello, Chair. Hello, Chair. Everyone is back apart from Mr. Neil, who's left the meeting. Chair, are you still with us in the meeting, please? Councillor Chabot-Verdier, I think we'll give the chair just a few more moments, and if she's unable to join, if you're able to read the decision on behalf of the committee.
Yeah. Oh dear. Can you see me, Charles? No?
No, Chair, but it's ideal to see you, but if we can't, you can still
Yeah,
read the decision.
I'm trying to get back to my Zoom. I don't know what's going on here.
It's not essential that we see you, Chair. If we can hear you, that's what people are interested in listening to, is the decision. So I would proceed with the decision, Chair.
Oh, okay. Okay, there. Okay. Blue share. The summary. Blue share 13 to 15 Shepherd Bush Green, London, West 12, 8 PH. The premises. The committee has considered an application for the variation of premises license to change some of the licensable hours and amend the condition 16 of the existing licensing under the Licensing Act 2003. The application, in summary, the committee has decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of this case and the promotion of 4 licensing objectives. 1, to grant the application. The license becomes operational with immediate effect. If problems are experienced, then an application for a review of the premises license can be made. A copy of committee's full decision, including its reason and the full text and of conditions, and is added to the license, will be sent to the parties forthwith. If applicant is unhappy with the decision, they are entitled to appeal to the magistrate court within 21 days from the date of notification of the full decision. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.